Okay, Conkeldurr avoids the Rock Slide, but Heatran gets crit. Conkeldurr switches straight into an Ice Beam. That would be fine, except it gets frozen, and then Heatran gets flinched. What is this format? Oh my god. After I recorded the Chalk video that I believe will have gone up last week, I only then found out that this month, VGC 2013 is actually back on Pokemon Showdown, reaching back 12 years to a time long before I ever touched a VGC format. So, in this video, we're going back in time a little bit more seriously, and I'm trying Generation 5 VGC for the very first time. I certainly was aware of VGC back when Gen 5 was current, but as I've discussed before, I never tried a VGC format myself, and in fact I didn't even know very much about it until 2020. So this is reaching pretty far back for me. I was playing Smogon singles back then. Not ever very well, but hey, I was playing. So some things might be familiar to me. I do know my Gen 5 mechanics, except any that I might have forgotten. And I've heard that Rain is an important archetype in VGC 2013, which does kind of put me at home in a sense, because when I played Black and White OU back then, my favorite archetype was Rain Offense. So, you know, I'm at least familiar with how strong things like Permanent Weather can be, but it's definitely going to be an interesting experience going this far back in VGC for the first time, and we'll see how it goes. Instead of trying to build myself for this completely unfamiliar format, I have gathered 5 teams to try out over the course of this video, and we're going to start right off the bat with the team that won the 2013 World Championship. Why are these Pokemon at level 100? Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to fix that on every team, so I'll be right back. Okay, I only had to fix it on a couple of the teams. Of course, if you don't specify the level in PokePaste, it defaults to 100, so that's probably what happened there. Anyway, yeah, World Championship team first, used by Arashimari to win Worlds. Again, I don't need to harp on this forever. Long before I had ever touched VGC. Interesting looking team for sure. I don't really know the meta here, so I don't necessarily know everything. Every part of how this works and why, although there is a team report up on Nugget Bridge that I did honestly skim. But how often do you see Defiant Tornadus, right? I'm so used to Tornadus being a Prankster Tailwind support. I use Defiant Thunderous and Sword and Shield, but this Flying Gem acrobatic stuff, this is pretty alien to me, and it's going to be interesting to try out for sure. That said, it's definitely very strong, as is this Heatran with Substitute. That can definitely get going and do a lot of damage if I support it correctly. We have Amoonguss here. I certainly know what Amoonguss does, although carrying the Lumberry, because of course grass types can be spored in this generation. So that's something I'll have to watch out for, but so will my opponents since I'm using Amoonguss myself. The Latios is here to help answer Rain matchups. I mean, it also just hits extremely hard with Dragon Gem boosted Draco Meteor, but Hidden Power, that's a throwback, huh? But it also has Sunny Day so that it can turn off Rain or Sandstorm, give me favorable weather into teams that are built more around weather, and of course it will power up Heatran's Heat Wave as well. Choice Scarf Mamoswine is here to pick off things like Dragon types and Amoonguss, I think. And then Conkeldurr, even though this team isn't running Trick Room, I do still have some slow pieces in Conkeldurr and Amoonguss that can cause trouble maybe into opposing Trick Room teams, but also this Conkeldurr is just here to be bulky and hit things hard. And Mach Punch, of course, gives it a little bit of speed control. So that's the gist of this team as I understand it, but let's be honest, I don't understand this format, and the only thing to do about that is to jump in and start playing. And you know what? In the true spirit of Generation 5, where's the avatar that I want? Let's be this guy this time. Real throwback there, Generation 5, huh? Wow. Okay, and right off the bat we have a mirror. Should have known I'd run into the team that won the World Championship, huh? But I didn't know it would be immediately. Alright, first game ever of VGC 2013, and it's a mirror. So, okay. Scarf Mamoswine is very strong here if I position it correctly. Latios is very strong. Amoonguss, Heatran. Those might be the 4. I mean, if Tornadus were setting Tailwind, but we don't have to finish that thought because it isn't. I mean, Tornadus still hits almost all these Pokemon extremely hard. I feel like the Scarf Mamoswine is a real threat on both sides, huh? So I think I'll lead with that. And I could lead Mamoswine Tornadus. That opens up Earthquake, which helps cover for the Heatran if they lead with that, or even their own Mamoswine. I definitely bring Heatran. I mean, Heatran is kind of my only switch in into an Ice-type attack from the opposing Mamoswine, right? And then that means I can only bring one of Latios and Amoonguss, unless I change my mind about Tornadus. I think I'm just going to send it and bring Latios. Why are these Pokeballs so far apart? I guess I'm just not used to the Gen 5 sprites anymore. Okay, so this Mamoswine is immediately threatening big damage into Tornadus. Conkeldurr is threatening my Mamoswine. I could Terrasilize it, except just kidding, it's not Gen 9. I can't Terrasilize anything. I kind of want to just rip an Earthquake immediately, but I think I just lose to their Heatran if I let Mamoswine go down. Or at least I'm in a bad position into it. On the other hand, what do I switch to Latios and let Scarf Ice attacks go crazy? Honestly, maybe I do, and then I try to force Conkeldurr out next turn. It doesn't really feel like a very sound play, but I think it's kind of what I'm forced into here. And I'm already starting to see why this team won Worlds, because this puts out a lot of pressure for sure. Okay, Mamoswine is going to Icicle Crash something, but the point of this play was to land a big attack into the Conkeldurr slot from either one of my Pokemon, whichever one survives long enough to do it. And it's going to be Latios, and we're going to miss the Draco Meteor, and that's just GG, I think. Obviously, I was trying to get rid of Conkeldurr, or at least put a lot of pressure onto it, so that I could try to win with these two in the back, but yeah, that's not happening now. What an unforgiving team. I don't want to lock into Earthquake next to my Heatran, even with the Protect cover, so we're going to go for Icicle Crash into Conkeldurr. They can just Drain Punch Mamoswine, or they can switch. Actually let it take the hit. It takes it very well. I wonder how much that Draco Meteor was actually doing. And we'll Heat Wave. You know what? I'm going to go for a Substitute here, because that's my out if they let me have it. They do Mach Punch Mamoswine, very tempting target, obviously. I get my Substitute, so we avoid a Spore from the Amoonguss, but Conkeldurr is just going to break the sub now. Yeah. And that doesn't do enough damage, especially with the Drain Punch recovery. And then Heatran goes to sleep, so pretty resounding loss in my first game of VGC 2013, but hey, what did we expect here, right? Well, I don't know that I expected a mirror immediately. But what can you do? We'll get another one. See if we get a different matchup this time. I'm thinking, because I have 5 teams, I'm thinking like 3 games with each of them, but we'll keep that flexible, depending on how I'm feeling. I think 15 games is pretty solid for this video. Or, well, that definitely might be a little flexible for reasons. Don't worry about it. Let's get another game. Where's an opponent? Give opponent, please. If I don't find an opponent, then I might not get 3 games per team, huh? I'm recording this on a weekend, too, so I mean, I don't think there's going to be a better time to try this ladder. Although I can come back and try at a different time if this doesn't work out. I suppose that's an option. We'll let this play out for now. I don't know whether it stops searching eventually. I don't remember. Or I'm not sure I've ever been in a position where I just couldn't find an opponent on a ladder. It's taken a while in the past, but... Sorry, that was me clicking my pen. You probably heard that. Yeah, I'll give it a little bit longer. but it's definitely looking like I might just bail and come back later. Oh, we got a game. What is this team? Well, it looks very Trick Roomy, obviously, but yeah, Conkeldurr, Cofagrigus, Druddigon, I almost said Terrapagos, Caracosta, Reuniclus, and Electros. There are a few Pokemon here that I have not seen in quite a while, because I don't think they're in Scarlet and Violet. Okay. I want to get immediate damage into this, I think. I mean, it does look like a hard Trick Room team for sure, or at least pretty hard. So, I could lead, like, Latios and Heatran, I think. Bring a Mungus in the back for extra cover into Trick Room, and then maybe Conkeldurr. On the other hand, Tornadus would help me cover their Conkeldurr, which might be a little more sound into, you know, opening up matchups for Heatran. On the other hand, I might not have to do any of that because I might just forfeit for some reason. Maybe they didn't like that I was taking a little bit of time to make my choices, but I mean, the timer was on. I'm entitled to my time, right? That's kind of a bummer after it took so long to find an opponent that they just forfeited like that. And after they brought, like I said, some cool Pokemon that I haven't seen in a while. I'll try one more time. Okay, we got one more quickly this time. This person is a Blissey. Interesting. Well, that'll make Latios and Heatran, it'll make their lives harder. Not so much Tornadus or Mamoswine or Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr looks pretty strong here, actually. What's this ability? Iron Fist, so I do have to avoid getting it burned by the Rotom. Latios is probably faster than Garchomp. Yep, definitely faster than Garchomp. So Latios and Conkeldurr both put out a lot of pressure. Mamoswine's probably decent here. I think I'm going to lead Latios, Conkeldurr. I'll bring Mamoswine in the back. And maybe a Mungus to kind of tie things together. But I'm a little bit afraid of the Rotom, I think. Maybe I don't need to be, but I don't really know. I don't know this format that well. So I'm actually going to bring Heatran to help me cover for the Rotom. Okay, Garchomp and Rotom against Latios and Conkeldurr. So I'm threatening a lot of damage into this Garchomp. On the other hand, like I said, I don't want to let Conkeldurr get burned. I think I'm just going to Draco Meteor Garchomp. It could protect, or I could waste my Dragon Gem into a Blissey switch in. But doing that lets me bring Heatran in, and maybe they give me Flash Fire. Discharge. Okay, that might paralyze my Pokemon. It paralyzes Latios. But we do get Garchomp down to its Focus Sash with the Draco Meteor. Okay. Sash Garchomp is... I don't know whether it's standard in this format, but I definitely didn't know it was coming. I can bring Mamoswine in. The problem is... bring Mamoswine in to do what? I can lock into an Ice-type attack to hit the Garchomp. And actually, that'll cover everything except Caracosta. It does nothing to the Rotom. I guess the question is, if the Rotom has Will-O-Wisp, which Pokemon would I prefer to get burned? And I think the answer is Mamoswine. And I think I saved Conkeldurr in the back. So I'll just lock into... I can actually lock into Rock Slide. That's pretty solid into all these Pokemon now that their 1 Rock Resist is down to 1 HP. So I'll do that. And if I can get a substitute with Heatran, the Discharge doesn't break it immediately. So let's do that. Okay, they protect Garchomp. They don't go for a burn. Rotom is actually faster than Heatran, which I probably should have noticed last turn. It's certainly going to stay that way now that Heatran is paralyzed, but I get good damage with the Rock Slide. I get my substitute up. If I can avoid a full para, then Heatran is pretty well positioned to put in some work. Mamoswine is now threatening 2 KOs with the Rock Slide, so I think I can click that and Heat Wave pretty safely. Discharge, I believe, will not break the substitute. I am mistaken, it does. Looks like that must be an unlucky roll for me there. And Rock Slide misses the Rotom. Heatran is fully paralyzed. Rock Slide is still threatening a KO into Rotom. But now they have the Tyranitar in. But if I can remove the Rotom, then I feel safer about using Conkeldurr to check Tyranitar, right? So I'm going to go for this Rock Slide. I'm just going to protect Heatran for now. Okay, there's the Blissey. I would love to land a Rock Slide into that. Heatran is fully paralyzed again. That Rock Slide does not do as much to Blissey as I'd like. But... do I hard switch Conkeldurr in here? I don't know what Blissey does in this format. I feel like it probably clicks Thunder Wave or something. But I kind of want to save Mamoswine so that I can still Rock Slide into the Rotom in the end game, right? So I think I'm going to switch to Conkeldurr. Maybe I'm throwing by doing that, but, you know, I hope not. And I'm going to Heat Wave. Okay, Conkeldurr avoids the Rock Slide, but Heat Ring gets crit. Conkeldurr switches straight into an Ice Beam. That would be fine, except it gets frozen, and then Heat Ring gets flinched. What is this format? Oh my god. Okay, let's try to remove this Tyranitar. And I'll just Heat Wave. Maybe I can chip the Rotom on the switch. Nothing switches. Conkeldurr stays frozen. Go Mamoswine. I would think about locking into Earthquake here, but I can't because it doesn't hit the Rotom. I think I just have to lock into Rock Slide again, honestly. Or maybe it's worth it to Icicle Crash something. It might buy Conkeldurr a little bit more time to thaw. No, you know what? I think we play the Rock Slide flinch game here. I'll Drain Punch into Tyranitar again and click Rock Slide. Okay, Blissey activates a Citrus Berry. Tyranitar does flinch. Mamoswine takes Blissey's Flamethrower. Conkeldurr stays frozen. Alright. Okay. Drain Punch. Rock Slide. Tyranitar flinches. Blissey flinches. Conkeldurr thaws. Drain Punch knocks out Tyranitar. I still am afraid of the Rotom, but the Rock Slide should still knock it out. And Mamoswine with the Choice Scarf will be the fastest Pokemon here. I think I can go ahead and Drain Punch into Blissey. Hope Conkeldurr doesn't get frozen again. Land this Rock Slide. Rotom clicks Overheat. Rotom was faster. Rotom was Scarfed the whole time, wasn't it? That's why it was spamming Discharge earlier. Which means that's something I should have noticed sooner, right? Yeah, Rotom was always faster than Mamoswine, and I just didn't notice. Alright, that's some pretty sloppy play by me, but not much I could do about it by that point. But yeah, they really got me with that Rotom, that's for sure. But even though I didn't play that super well, I'm definitely uploading that game. Holy man. And I'll get one more because I'm not counting that forfeit as a game played. Even though it's my only win so far. Is this what Gen 5 VGC was like, though? Flinch, miss, crit, para, freeze. I mean, all those things exist in the present day, so... I'm being a little silly, aren't I? That game could happen in Scarlet and Violet. Not exactly the same, but similar beats. What an introduction, though, to this format. Okay, it's the same opponent from the first game, isn't it? Alright, this ladder's dead. Maybe I'll get one more game after this, because I won't get the same opponent again, back-to-back, but this ladder's dead. Okay, alright, what did they get me with last time? Have I already forgotten? It was the Mamoswine, right? So let's lead Conkeldurr this time. Conkeldurr, and what I can do is lead Heatran, maybe bait out a ground-type attack, and have one of these two in the back. I think I still favor Tornadus, and I'll bring Mamoswine as well, because we know it puts in work in this matchup. Alright. Yeah, okay, so the problem with baiting out a ground attack by Mamoswine is they don't really need it. They can threaten me with their Conkeldurr. Well, let's see if they just let me have this. Please, I've been so good. They let me just remove the Mamoswine. I don't think they will, but I don't really know what they will do here. Did they let me have the Mamoswine? Okay, it doesn't KO, but I have Mach Punch now. Mach Punch, and I'm gonna risk a switch into Tornadus. Hope they don't Ice Punch that slot. Okay, we see a Moongus come in. Fair enough. They Drain Punch Tornadus, so that part works out for me. I can throw a big Acrobatics Flying Gem boosted into something here. Little Gen 5 quirk for anyone watching who doesn't know. Acrobatics, of course, gets boosted damage if the holder does not have an item. And the way that interacts with Flying Gem is, I believe, they do stack. You get the gem boost, and then you also get the no item boost. So this is going to be an absolute nuke of an Acrobatics into something. I kind of want to just target the Amoonguss, but I think it might switch out or protect, so I'm going to target Conkeldurr. I'll try to cover Amoonguss with an Ice Punch just in case. Rage Powder. Okay, well, then I do hit the Amoonguss. That's fine. Chip the Conkeldurr. Tornadus takes an Ice Punch and goes down. That was my best answer to Conkeldurr. But maybe my Mamoswine can clean it up now. There's their Tornadus. Okay, this is looking pretty dicey, actually. Which of these Pokemon is more important to remove? I feel like if I remove Tornadus, then I have a chance of beating their Conkeldurr with mine, although it's very iffy. They have Mamoswine in the back. It's weakened. I can Mach Punch it. I don't think Heatran really does anything for me in this game if I remove the Tornadus. So we'll sack Heatran, and I think we will walk into Icicle Crash into Tornadus. Protects. I guess I need to target Conkeldurr then. Yeah, because a Mach Punch will knock Mamoswine out now, so that's probably GG. Given that I think they're targeting Mamoswine, I can try to get a substitute with Heatran. Let's see if they let me. I think they will. Superpower, okay. Alright, well I do get a substitute, at least. Might have been better to just attack there. But now I get Conkeldurr in. I'm gonna Heat Wave and... Can I Ice Punch here? I don't think so. Maybe I needed to Mach Punch into that lowered defense stat. I wouldn't have done enough. But I'll try it here. They knock out Heatran. And Conkeldurr's not winning this. Okay, so I lost every game actually played. This format's tough. I'm so used to crutches like Dynamax and Terastal. It's hard to just pick this one up, especially when I'm playing into a World Championship team, even when I'm using one myself. Do I want to get one more game? You can see I have here the runner-up team from 2013 Worlds. That's kind of cool. Have Aaron Cybertron Zheng's famous inaccurate Rotom, which I think I even did hear about back then. Maybe. Shows how well known that is. And then I found this in a list of 2013 sample teams. It's actually Wolfe Glick's world runner-up team from 2012. So I don't know how well it plays into the 2013 format, but it is legal. I'll get one game with that. And then maybe I'll come back and try the others later if the ladder's less dead. This is a new opponent, actually. Rhydon, Tornadus, Machamp. What on earth do I do into this? Suicune? Okay. Yes, this is Wolfe Glick's Skill Swap Cresselia with Heatran team. A little bit of a tough sell into Machamp and Suicune. Intimidate on the Hitmontop and Fake Out. Choice Band Terrakion. Again, not great into this team. I can do Cresselia Exeggutor. try to set up the sunny day. I'll bring Heatran in the back in case I can make that work. And Terrakion helps cover some of these, but I think I can get by with Thundurus. Maybe that makes me too weak to the Hydreigon, actually. Maybe I need Thundurus and Terrakion. I think that is actually more sensible. So no skill swap Heatran stuff in this game. Okay, they lead Suicune and Rhydon. I'm gonna go straight for Sunny Day. What does Power Swap do? Okay, sure. I'm gonna go straight for Sunny Day and protect Exeggutor this turn. They get Tailwind up, I get Chlorophyll, I can Icy Wind, and... Oh, is Power Swap supposed to offset the Leaf Storm drops? That's pretty cool. Let's go for a Leaf Storm into this Rhydon slot. Take an Ice Beam from Suicune. We'll drop its speed here. What's coming in? Tornadus. That's a problem. And since I didn't bring Heatran, I can't just switch that in on an expected flying type attack. So I think I'm going to Icy Wind and protect Exeggutor. Try to get this Tornadus slowed down a bit and get some chip on it. They taunt Cresselia, but that's okay this turn. And that implies, I think, a Prankster... Never mind. Maybe they all run Defiant in this format. I wouldn't know. And I'll be honest, even though I was running it in those last few games, Defiant Tornadus did not cross my mind when I clicked Icy Wind. I'm just not used to it. Psyshock, I guess, and... I can double Psyshock. I can Power Swap into Suicune. Let Exeggutor go down, try to win with, like, Thundurus or something. Okay. Power Swap into Hydreigon, that works too, except that it doesn't because I don't get the attack off. Things are surprisingly bulky in this format. I know Cresselia doesn't hit very hard, but wow. Alright, I'll go Thundurus here. I have a lot of options. Not on Cresselia, it doesn't have very many options. Honestly, it does have the option to switch out to Terrakion. I think that might be worth it. Or maybe the Tornadus will attack Cresselia here. I don't know. Thundurus. I can Thunder Wave Tornadus. I can Thunder Wave Hydreigon. It's Gen 5. Prankster works into Dark types. I can Thunderbolt Tornadus. I think I'm okay with Thunderbolting Tornadus, and in that case, I think I can switch to Terrakion. Tornadus still has its speed drop from the Icy Wind. Protects, okay. Dark Pulse into Terrakion. Gives me a justified boost. Terrakion might be slower than Hydreigon. Why is it Choice Band with Protect? Is Knockoff common in this format? I don't even know. We're just going to send it and hope this works out. Or I could still Thunder Wave Hydreigon. I could Thunder Wave Hydreigon and Rock Slide, actually. Terrakion should be faster than Tornadus. I actually think that might be the smart play here. Thunder Wave Hydreigon and Rock Slide. Is Thunder Wave 100 accuracy this gen? It is. Okay, let's do that. And this Rock Slide should hit anything pretty hard, except maybe Machamp. They don't have Machamp. We've seen all 4 of their Pokemon. It should hit anything pretty hard. Okay, they go for the double protect, but they don't get it. Pretty safe Rock Slide. Knocks out Tornadus, does a lot to Hydreigon, and we flinch it. Nice. And now here's Suicune. Suicune's still pretty dangerous. I am, of course, locked into Rock Slide. What I can do, actually, is switch Terrakion back out to Cresselia. Is it worth it, though, to give up the attack boost? And I can click Hidden Power into Hydreigon with... Well, Hydreigon's paralyzed. Let's just Rock Slide and Thunderbolt. Yeah, that works. Alright, so I finally got a win. And, you know, with the team belonging to... We're really jumbling the timelines here, because this is a 2012 team used in the 2013 format that comes from the guy who got me into this competitive style of play all the way later in 2020. Yeah, Arashimadi's team is very strong, even though I lost every game with it. Wolfe Glick's 2012 team is looking like a lot of fun. I think I am going to call it here, but I might do another recording session like tomorrow or something, and I'll see if the ladder is a little bit more alive. Yeah, so we'll check back then. Alright, it's later in the evening. Let's give it another go. I'll stick with this Wolf team for now because I really enjoyed that first game with it. I'll try to get a couple more. Unless the ladder is dead. In which case, this recording will probably die with it. But I'll give it a little bit of time. Okay. We love you, murder. Sure. Okay. There's a Jellicent. I know Jellicent has a place in this meta. I vaguely remember Jellicent in Black and White OU. I can't say I'm sure off the top of my head exactly what it does. It sure doesn't look like a great Terrakion game, though, except Rock Slide is so good. Choice Banded Rock Slide. My brain's taking a bit of time to get fired up again. I do kind of like Hitmontop into the Tyranitar Landorus, but I now expect Defiant Tornadus at this point. All the ones I've seen have been running that. Heatran's probably decent. Heatran's okay. There's a case for Heatran. Let's see if I can do the skill swap play, actually. I'll bring Hitmontop. And I think I'll bring Exeggutor, and this definitely might be wrong, but I don't really know how to attack this team, so I'm just trying something. Why do my Pokemon have their modern models? Oh no, they don't. They're just big sprites, right? I don't know what's going on. Okay. I'm gonna go straight for a skill swap. We'll see if they punish it. I don't know what Tyranitar runs in this format. I'm going to throw an Earth Power at Tyranitar. U-turn Cresselia for big damage with a crit. Get a Moongus in. I thought about clicking Heat Wave, and that actually would have been kind of nice, as I do get the skill swap. The Earth Power doesn't do a whole lot. They'll knock out Cresselia here. I have Heatran in with Levitate. I even can get in Hitmontop here, Intimidate Tyranitar. I can go for a Fake Out into Tyranitar if I want, and I can get a substitute with Heatran. I think that's reasonable. Losing Cresselia means I can't set up Sunny Day, so this Sand is just going to stay on the field. And that makes Exeggutor's day kind of sad, but I'm going to go for the play that I said, and hope that that sets me up to watch my Heatran run away with this game. Yeah, fingers crossed. Okay, Landorus comes in, intimidates Hitmontop, but that's fine. The Fake Out's kind of wasted into it, but I do get my substitute pretty safely. Hitmontop takes a nap, wakes up thanks to its Chesto Berry. I could switch to Exeggutor and let that fall asleep. And save Hitmontop in the back. I think that's pretty reasonable here, and I'll just throw off a Heat Wave with Heatran. Or maybe I should be protecting and pivoting Hitmontop back in, getting another Intimidate. I don't know. I don't feel like I have that kind of patience right now, to be honest. That might be the more optimal way to play it, but I don't completely see the vision. They miss Rock Slide, so that's big. Heatran Substitute should survive the turn. Get some good Heat Wave damage. Exeggutor takes a nap, but that's okay. I think I prefer Exeggutor sleeping to Hitmontop. I'll go for a Leaf Storm into the Landorus slot, but I know Exeggutor will stay asleep this turn. And it actually might be a good idea to switch Hitmontop back in now. No, I should probably get rid of the Amoonguss first. We'll just Heat Wave again. I don't think it'll knock Landorus out. Maybe I'll be lucky. Okay, Amoonguss switches out for Tyranitar. Landorus takes out Exeggutor with a U-turn. So I only get one more Intimidate in this game. And it'll be into Tyranitar and Amoonguss. Amoonguss is not looking forward to switching into this Heat Wave, I think. Maybe that's why my opponent is taking their time. But oh, they still have Tornadus, actually. So I might give that a Defiant boost. But they do go Amoonguss, okay. That gets knocked out. Still might give Tornadus a Defiant boost. But I have Fake Out available. They actually go Landorus here. I can go straight for a close combat into Tyranitar. And which of my Pokemon is faster? Heatran. I think it'd be preferable if Hitmontop were faster here. I'm going to protect Heatran to preserve the substitute while I try to knock out this Tyranitar. Maybe it protects around the close combat, but I'm going to hope it doesn't. Just move the mic a little bit. I hope that didn't make too weird a noise. Although, if you watch this channel, you might be used to that kind of thing. Okay, totally unnecessary crit, but Tyranitar is gone. That should free Heatran up a fair bit. Of course, they could have superpower on the Tornadus like we saw earlier. But we're just going to target a Stone Edge into... Let's actually close combat Landorus. After a Heat Wave, that might KO. If we get the chance to land it at all, which we don't because of this acrobatics. Landorus going for Rock Slide. Doesn't break the substitute. Landorus drops to the Heat Wave, and that should be GG if I land this next Heat Wave. Which I do. Alright, 2-0 with the 2012 Wolfe Glick team. That's more like it. I mean, certainly the World Champion team I played earlier was good, but I'm enjoying this one more so far. In a very small sample of games, of course. Here we have all three of these goons, along with Heatran, Latios, and Scizor. So, Heatran eats Scizor for breakfast, more or less. Scizor can have fighting coverage. I don't know whether it runs that in this format. Terrakion could be strong, but has to watch out for the Landorus and Latios. Heatran could be strong, but has to watch out for the Landorus. And to an extent, these three. Not really seeing a use for Exeggutor here. Thundurus could be strong, but man, the more Pokemon I identify, the more I worry about that Landorus. And I can try Cresselia, threatening Ice Wave into it. Ice Wave? Icy Wind? But... I mean, we saw how much that U-turn did last game. Was that a crit, though? And we could have Defiant on either of these brothers here. Still, I think I might be on the right track. Maybe Hitmontop is more sound than Cresselia here. No, I'm down to try Cresselia, Heatran. Also, I just realized I forgot that I'd skill swapped Heatran last game, and that's why the Landorus was never going for a ground move into it. Maybe I could have played some of that less cautiously than I did. Let's just try these four Pokemon. Okay, we see Landorus and Thundurus. The immediate Landorus makes me kind of afraid for Heatran's well-being here. I can Icy Wind. I think I protect Heatran this turn. I can Icy Wind, I can Sunny Day. I'm just going to try an Icy Wind and hope I don't see Defiant Thundurus. And I'm going to protect Heatran. Okay, it is Prankster Thundurus. So it gets chipped by that U-turn. But we land our Icy Wind. And now Swagger Thundurus, probably with Thunder Wave as well, right? Is a real problem. I kind of want to substitute in front of it, but well, I think it's fine if I get my skill swap off, which is what I'm going for here. I'll try to substitute Heatran. Get the skill swap. That makes it immune to the opposing Heatran's Earth Power. Hurts itself in Confusion. Cresselia takes that Flash Cannon pretty well. Heatran is set up but confused. I can try to Earth Power their Heatran. I can still try for that substitute, although there's nothing stopping them from paralyzing Heatran at this point. I can switch to Terrakion and try to threaten a Rock Slide into Thundurus next turn, but if Terrakion just eats a Flash Cannon, that obviously is no good. I can switch to Thundurus and threaten a Thunder Wave into their Thundurus next turn, because you can paralyze electric types in this generation. I guess I'll try that and try to protect Heatran, which does not break out of Confusion. Okay. Both Heatran protect. They just go for a Thunderbolt into my Thundurus. I think I'm still down to Thunder Wave their Thundurus. I also could try taunting it instead. I think Taunt is okay, actually. And Earth Power into Heatran. If they switch Landorus in, then Earth Power does no damage, but I do have Levitate on Heatran, of course. Okay, we do stop a Thunder Wave, actually, and knock out their Heatran, so that's a good turn, I think. There's Landorus. It could go for Rock Slide. I think I want to just click Hidden Power Ice into something, though. Or I could pivot out to Cresselia. I think I just want to Hidden Power something. Let's Hidden Power Thundurus. I want to knock that out before the taunt wears off. Okay, they switch it out. Well, chipping Latios is still good. Latios kind of walls Heatran. They crit Heatran with Rock Slide. It still holds up okay. I can Thunder Wave Latios here. That might be for the best. Sure. I'll protect Heatran, get a little bit of leftovers recovery. Okay, they protect Latios, so the Thunder Wave is not going to connect. I had a good chance to set up a substitute there, and I didn't do it. Oh well. Also, Terrakion is not looking great in the rest of this game, but I'll bring Cresselia in for now. I wouldn't mind getting a sunny day, if I can. Icy Wind would also be decent. I'll go for Icy Wind and Heat Wave. And then nothing switches in comfortably. They probably can knock Cresselia out. They might have coverage for Heatran, I don't know, but yeah, they probably can knock Cresselia out. But landing an Icy Wind into any of these Pokemon would be nice. Okay, they don't knock Cresselia out. Thundurus is in, but it'll take a bunch of damage and a speed drop. Of course, it does still have the Prankster, Swagger, and Thunder Wave available to it. I'm going to go for Sunny Day here and Heat Wave. Draco Meteor almost knocks out Heatran. Do they double into it? Doesn't matter. It goes before Thundurus. Thanks to that Icy Wind drop, I'm sure. Gets those clutch KOs, and it's just Landorus in the back. So between Cresselia and Terrakion, I mean, they should be able to handle that. But I'll just go for Icy Wind. It could Rock Slide. I imagine that's what it wants to do. Ability suppressed is Levitate. I'll just go for Icy Wind and Heat Wave. And they knock out Heatran, but not Cresselia, and the Icy Wind will finish Landorus off. And I have gone 3-0 with Wolfe Glick's 2012 World Championship runner-up team. I'm going to be honest, I thought the skill swap Cresselia with Heatran sounded a little silly when he talked about it several years later. I didn't understand this format, so I didn't really see the vision. Not even this format, it's a 2012 team, but it's actually proven very powerful in these last 2 games. And yeah, this team is a lot of fun. I'm not saying it's better than this team, but I enjoyed it more, for sure, in this session. Let's go to the 2013 World Runner-Up team now. We got Sash Landorus, our own Swagger, Thunderwave, Thundurus, Ice Beam on this Cresselia, so that'll hit those Landorus and stuff a bit harder. Fire Gem Heatran with Eruption. Okay. Okay, I know this one. In order to have Eruption, Heatran has to run a Quiet Nature because it was an event distribution, or maybe it's from a side game. Iron Ball, Fling, Tyranitar. I don't really know what that's for. Maybe it knocks out Cresselia reliably or something. Life Orb, Conkeldurr. Yeah, I don't completely understand this team, but we'll see what we can do here. It looks very strong for sure. And Prankster Thunderwave Thundurus with that Eruption Heatran. Suddenly that speed dropping nature is maybe not as big a deal, huh? I'll give it a little bit of time to get an opponent. It's not the worst thing if we end on that last game. I really did enjoy that Cresselia Heatran team. Well, this is also a Cresselia Heatran team, but you know what I mean. Alright. Here's here's a rematch of the 2013 World Championship Final. Unfortunately, I'm on the losing side. But I'm sure both of us are a lot worse than those players, so anything could happen here. I like Thundurus into some of these Pokemon, for sure. You know, it's Iron Fist, Conkeldurr, don't have to worry about Guts. Honestly, Thundurus Heatran is probably pretty reasonable here. The biggest problem is the Mamoswine. So I bring like Landorus or Cresselia to be able to switch into an Earthquake. Maybe both of them. Ice Beam Cresselia is pretty strong here. Helping Hand too. And a Trick Room option. I think those are the 4 Pokemon in this game. Thundurus, Heatran, Cresselia, Landorus. Mamoswine and Heatran against Thundurus and Heatran. So, of course, Mamoswine was the Pokemon that I least wanted to see at preview. There's a part of me that wants to just Swagger and Eruption, but especially in front of their Heatran, I don't think so. What am I going to do? I'm going to Thunder Wave their Heatran. Because I can. And protect my Heatran. See if they actually lock into Earthquake. They do. Okay. But I've brought nothing. Actually, this is a really cool team building note here. Apart from the Heatran, I've brought nothing but Earthquake immunities because the creator of this team had a lot of those. So what can I switch in here? I can probably switch Landorus in. Especially if I threaten another Thunder Wave into the Heatran. I think that's okay. They knew they had to get Mamoswine out of there, so maybe I missed a chance to go for some big damage, but it's okay. Paralyze their Heatran. It gets a substitute up. Maybe it would have been better to taunt it. I don't know. I can go for Thunder Wave into Latios here. And I can click Earthquake, try to break the Heatran substitute. I think that's reasonable. Latios uses Sunny Day, so they'll get boosted fire type damage now. We do break Heatran sub, it breaks through Paralysis. Chips both of these Pokemon pretty well. Landorus is now below half. But Landorus will move before either of these two. We know they have Mamoswine in the back, we don't know what the last one is. I honestly could just click Swagger into something here. Like Earthquake and Swagger into Latios. It's not like I have a great attack into Latios. Heatran's fully paralyzed. Trying to protect. So, it gets knocked out. Lucky me. But I guess that's the reality of Thundurus in Gen 5, and Latios hits itself in Confusion. Gen 5 Thundurus, wow. Okay, Mamoswine is here. It can lock into an Ice-type attack if it wants. I can just hard switch Heatran in. The only thing is, if I switch it into an Earthquake, then my opponent got me. Whoops. I don't know what to do here. I'm just going to switch Heatran in and hope for the best. And I'll go for a Stone Edge to try to weaken Mamoswine. Okay, locks into Rock Slide. Alright, mid-ground makes sense. Latios breaks out of Confusion, but it's fully paralyzed. And they've now given me Sun for Heatran's Eruption if I want to use that. Gem boosted, should still be strong after a Rock Slide, but is it that much stronger than Heat Wave? Well, either way, it doesn't have a chance to miss. Could get flinched by the Rock Slide, of course, but I'll go for U-turn into Latios. There's the Rock Slide. Landorus gets flinched. Heatran gets flinched. Landorus drops to Hidden Power. Okay. I'll go Cresselia. Now I think I might as well click Heat Wave. And Ice Beam into Latios, or I could Helping Hand. I think Ice Beam into Latios. Rock Slide misses Heatran this time. Live by the hacks, die by the hacks, I guess. And here's a big Heat Wave. Gem boosted, knocks out both Pokemon. We'll see what their last one is. It's a Moongus. So hard to see a Moongus. Just gonna click Eruption for the accuracy. Hard to see a Moongus getting through this one, right? As that Eruption, Heatran finishes it off. Alright, just rewrote history with that game. Etherian Thundurus. Okay, haven't seen that yet. I've also got a Metagross here. Glad I am finding opponents a little more quickly now. I'm zoning out a little bit. How do I play into this team? I don't have Hidden Power on the Thundurus, so it's always a little bit awkward coverage-wise. Like, I just can't damage their Landorus or their Thundurus, or do much to Hydreigon. I could try to get Heatran going in this game. Heatran is definitely feeling like one of the best Pokemon in the format. I can see why all these teams seem to have it. I could try Tyranitar stuff. Why does this Tyranitar have Sunny Day? I guess because sand is not always advantageous and it helps to boost Heatran. I don't know what to do here. Okay, I definitely bring Landorus to this game. In fact, I think I lead with it. I think Heatran is okay next to Landorus. It's my best answer to their Cresselia. Well, actually Tyranitar is my best answer to their Cresselia. But I think Heatran is okay next to Landorus. I'll bring Tyranitar. And Conkeldurr beats some of these Pokemon. I'll try Conkeldurr. Like they're really taking some time to think about this one too. Which is good. It's nice that it's not only me taking my time. Be a long video, huh? But I think the content deserves it. Actually, I think OBS might be crashing on me or something. Uh-oh. I hope not. Well, not gonna worry about that right now. Oh, is my whole computer having a fit? Uh-oh. PC'd. No, computer, why? Okay, I had to restart my whole computer. Needless to say, we're not counting that last one as a game played. And we're gonna try to go again here. I really do want to get this Eruption Heatran going some more. Well, hopefully I get an opponent. It'd be pretty rough if after that just happened, I didn't get one now. Okay, good. Oh, look at this rain team. Oh dear. That's not what I want to see. Tyranitar can fight for weather control. Thundurus can Thunder Wave things. Cresselia is bulky. I think I bring those three for sure. Maybe Conkeldurr? Landorus probably doesn't seem to... Yeah, Landorus doesn't seem like it does very much here. Life Orb, Iron Fist, Conkeldurr, so... No Spore immunity, but I can taunt Breloom, but that means I need Thundurus. Conkeldurr is strong into Hydreigon. It has coverage into Thundurus. It has coverage into everything. I think I bring Conkeldurr. I'll lead Thundurus and... Thundurus and what? Thundurus and Cresselia feels really awkward. But maybe it's not. Then I can switch Tyranitar in. I'll keep Conkeldurr in the back to try to clean up with it. If I can. They lead Politoed Kingdra. I can switch Tyranitar in immediately. Of course, it is still weak to the water attacks from these Pokemon, but... I can just go right for a Thunder Wave into Kingdra. Let's get that rain out of here. Kingdra shows a Lumberry. Lands a Muddy Water. Tyranitar doesn't take too much from that. Politoed's Scald into Thundurus does some damage, though. I would like to see Thundurus do some damage back to this team, but it's going to be tricky already. Politoed, I think, might want to switch out. Try to get its weather back. So I think I can Thunderbolt Kingdra. Or I can Thunder Wave Kingdra again, now that its berry is used up. I'll go for a Thunderbolt. I'll switch Tyranitar out to Cresselia. We see Scizor come in here, which is not really what I want to see when I have Cresselia in, but it takes that Draco Meteor pretty well. Thunderbolt into the Kingdra. I don't want to Protect on Thundurus, so now I think about Thunder Waving something again. Maybe. The Kingdra might want to switch out after just click Draco Meteor. That might be the slot where they get Politoed back in. Let's actually Thunderbolt that slot and hope we don't get picked off by a resisted Bullet Punch. And I'm even going to Helping Hand. That's Hydreigon. Okay. Still get some damage into that before losing Cresselia to a Bug Bite from the Scizor. I guess this is the best position I'm getting to bring Conkeldurr in. I could Thunder Wave Hydreigon. I don't think I want to go hard Tyranitar here, so I could Thunder Wave Hydreigon. I could Thunder Wave Scizor just for the chance to not move. I think Thunder Wave and Drain... I don't know, Drain Punch. Thunder Wave Hammer Arm. My Trick Room Setter just went down. Doesn't matter, Cresselia is already slower than stuff. I think doubling into Hydreigon is okay here. That Bullet Punch did more than I'd like. And of course, I'm too used to Dynamic Speed. Of course, Hydreigon goes before Conkeldurr. I know how speed works in this generation, I'm just not used to it anymore. I think I'm just going to lose to Scizor now, aren't I? Well, this feels like a tough matchup, but maybe it's just not one that I can solve, you know, right away in my first go at this format. Steel resists Dark in this game, so I'm sure this is not what the Fling is for. Maybe I get the mother of all crits. Or maybe I could have Hammer Armed, but I got impatient. Well, I don't think it makes much difference now. I actually could Mach Punch Kingdra. Oh, I don't even need to. It drops to the sand damage. But I'm going to lose to Politoed now. Well, maybe if I crit Scizor. That still goes before Tyranitar, right? And then Politoed will finish Conkeldurr off. Alright, well that was a reasonably quick game. We'll get one more. This is some Trick Room stuff for sure, right? Well, with the Bronzong. But they also have a Tornadus. But Tornadus doesn't run Prankster Tailwind in this format, or at least it doesn't seem to. I keep having to remind myself of that. That said, depending on the lead matchup, I might be able to get the Eruption Heatran going. Maybe. Especially if I lead it with, like, Thundurus. I think Thundurus Heatran is okay. And even if it's not okay, I want to try it. Conkeldurr is probably pretty valuable into this team, and Landorus or Cresselia? I think Cresselia. It's a bit sturdier into the Tornadus and the Amoonguss. Okay, it's Hitmontop Heatran lead. Not ideal for me, that's for sure. I'm going to try to Thunder Wave their Heatran, but I probably take a Fake Out here. Actually, I'm going to try to Thunderbolt their Heatran because I want to break that Air Balloon. Protect my Heatran, but they probably Fake Out Thundurus, yeah. Go for Earth Power into Heatran. Well, I guess I can pretty safely switch Heatran out to Cresselia now. And I'll try again to get a Thunderbolt into their Heatran to break the Air Balloon so that I can Earth Power it later. Maybe that's not optimal. Maybe I need to be going for Thunder Wave and then I can try to beat it with Conkeldurr, but I don't know, man. Earth Power is one of my best tools into their Heatran, and it does nothing without the Air Balloon gone. Okay, now they've gotten Bronzong in pretty safely, though. I can taunt it. So I think I will. But then what does Cresselia do in this position? Just switch right back out to Heatran? Honestly, I think so. Okay, we see the Protect from their Heatran. Bronzong's taunted. I actually went for Light Screen. I'll try to Thunder Wave their Heatran here and protect my Heatran. They might switch out. Okay, it's Hitmontop in that slot, though, so they fail a double Protect. I will get the Thunder Wave into Heatran here. But now they have Fake Out Pressure, so I guess I go back to Cresselia. I'll try to Thunder Wave Hitmontop, because why not? Go for Faint. I don't know what that noise behind me just was. I don't think you could hear that, but oh man, what an evening. I might have to go check on something after this game. Let's Swagger Heatran and Psychic Hitmontop. Or I could Helping Hand Thunderbolt something. Let's Swagger Heatran and Psychic Hitmontop. Okay, Psychic does about half. Heatran breaks through. That'll give my Heatran a chance to get in, though, as Thundurus goes down. I do have to watch out for the possible Levitate Bronzong coming in, though. I will still Earth Power this slot. It might be too predictable, but I don't want to get that wrong. The Bronzong comes into the other slot. Heatran protects. Okay. Okay. They do have, unfortunately, 2 more ground immunities. Good chance they brought one of them, although it's not guaranteed. Point is, this Earth Power might not be very safe now. Do I Heat Wave here? You know what? I don't think I have to. I think I can Earth Power and Ice Beam to cover a switch. That's Hitmontop. Alright, I could have Heat Waved. Oh well. Do they set Trick Room here because their Heatran is guaranteed slower? No, they set Light Screen. Okay. They might not even have Trick Room. I don't know. Hydreigon. Do I switch Heatran out here and bring Conkeldurr in? They're not going to throw a Draco Meteor into Heatran, right? Dragon. Let's try to chip it too. Earth Power. Oh, that does a lot. That doesn't do a lot. That doesn't do a lot, but it's the least important move of the turn. The good news is Mach Punch is pretty free into this slot now. And I think I have to go for that. I don't think I can Hammer Arm here. But Mach Punch will hit either possible Pokemon hard. And I guess I can Ice Beam that slot again, too. It's Heatran. The Ice Beam... Oh, I was going to say the Ice Beam doesn't do much, but it does actually finish the Heatran off after Mach Punch almost KO, so that's nice. They get Reflect up now. I guess I want to try to win with Conkeldurr. Well, maybe not. Maybe I can soften Hydreigon up. And win with Heatran. I'm going to Mach Punch Hydreigon and go for Trick Room, because I think Hydreigon will be the fastest Pokemon now. Yeah, hopefully I haven't just played myself with that Trick Room. But I'm going... I'll protect Heatran this turn, Ice Beam into Hydreigon, just to cover for something like an Earthquake Bronzong or something. I don't know if that exists in this format, but... Okay, and then Heatran could clean it up in the endgame, but I never actually have to click the Fire Attack button, as... Yeah, once again, a very strong team from the World Runner-Up. No surprise, I guess. And definitely fun to use. I think the Wolfe Glick team is still my favorite so far, but I am enjoying this one a lot. And I'm going to check on one quick thing. It's going to be annoying to stitch all this video together, but it's that kind of evening, and then we'll move on to the Aaron Zheng team. Okay, everything's fine. And if anyone's going to help us make sure of that, it's Aaron Cybertron Zheng and his trusty Rotom. It got all the way to top 4 at Worlds 2013. I should actually look at the team before I jump into a game, huh? Here's the Arashomari team again. Resto Chesto Cresselia, infamous Rotom with Light Screen, that's good to keep in mind. Sash Landorus, Therian Form, of course. Choppleberry Tyranitar, some nice coverage. Life Orb Conkeldurr, much like the last one, and another Fire Gem Eruption Heatran, but this one is Hidden Power Grass. Okay. Alright. I feel like that Heatran might have a harder time getting going without a Thundurus enabling it, but obviously this is another very good team in this format. Going very nearly all the way to the top. I don't have timer on anymore. It's just a mess here. But we're having fun, right? Playing VGC 2013. I am genuinely really enjoying it. I hope that comes across. How do I play into this? Also, which opponent knocked Aaron out in top 4? I actually don't know. Whether it was Arash or the other one, Ryosuke, I think. I don't know whether this is a rematch of anything noteworthy, but how do I beat this Mamoswine? I feel like every time I play this team, I'm thinking, how do I beat the Mamoswine? Which goes to show why Mamoswine was the call for Worlds, I guess. It puts out a lot of pressure immediately. And then, oh, I can bring Conkeldurr into it, but, oh, they have this Flying Gem Tornadus here. They have Latios. Yeah, the Mamoswine is really... It's not hard to see why that Pokemon was so noteworthy. That said, I do have Wash Rotom, actually. I can Hydro Pump it. I can Will-O-Wisp it if I dare to try. And Rotom isn't afraid of Tornadus, so that's something. Rotom's a little bit afraid of Latios. Let's lead Rotom. With Heatran, I think. An Earthquake immunity in the back, either Landorus or Cresselia. I think I want Cresselia in this game. And I think I'll bring... It's tough. Landorus or Conkeldurr. I'll bring Conkeldurr. Maybe I can Mach Punch a Mamoswine if I need to, right? Okay, Mamoswine and Heatran. Good for Rotom. Bad for my Heatran. I can Will-O-Wisp. I can go straight for a Hydro Pump. I think I'm going to Will-O-Wisp. Everybody wish me luck here. I think I'm going to Will-O-Wisp and Protect. Heatran protects, no switch. We go for Earthquake. I land the Will-O-Wisp first try. Maybe I would have won Worlds 2013 if I played, huh? Let's Light Screen here. Do I need... I mean, it doesn't hurt to have the Light Screen up, right? And I'll go out to Conkeldurr. Tornadus. That's not really who I want to see, but the Light Screen might be useful here. As I can threaten a Thunderbolt into it. Maybe a Moongus just ruins my day then. I could try to Will-O-Wisp Tornadus, but again, Amoonguss might ruin my day. I could try to Will-O-Wisp Tornadus and Ice Punch Amoonguss. They might just knock Conkeldurr out. Like that. Okay, that wasn't the play then. Of course, it's Lumberry Amoonguss. Alright. Well, I get Heatran in pretty free here. I guess it would have been safer to just switch to Heatran. Does this Tornadus run Superpower? I don't have the team in my builder anymore. I switch Rotom out to Cresselia, preserve it for the late game. And just go for a Heat Wave. Eruption is better if Heatran doesn't take big damage this turn, so Eruption would have been better. I couldn't remember whether the Tornadus was a threat. Also, we just missed the KO on Amoonguss with that gem boosted Heat Wave, so that's unfortunate. Well, we know all their Pokemon. There's no Latios, so I might as well Psyshock the Amoonguss instead of going for Ice Beam. I'll click Heat Wave again, but it doesn't matter. Heatran's taking a nap. This Amoonguss is Amoonguss is doing what Amoonguss does, but like without years of power creep. So it's a real menace. I'm happy to be rid of it, but it might be too little too late. Burned Mamoswine is in. Earthquake will probably still do a lot to Heatran, right? Here's the Tornadus again. Honestly, I could think about setting Trick Room now. Rotom under Trick Room might be able to win. Okay. In that case, I'll preserve the Rotom. I'll try to protect Heatran. It'll probably stay asleep. It does. Roxfly's not doing too much there. Cresselia takes a big U-turn. Please don't flinch, Cresselia. This is actually pretty winnable if you don't flinch, I think. I think it's winnable if you don't flinch. Their Heatran comes in. Get the Trick Room up. Okay, okay. What do I do now? I can rest. Keep Cresselia healthy. I think that's pretty reasonable here. I have the Chesto Berry. It'll wake up right away. I don't have Earth Power on Heatran, so Heatran can't threaten their Heatran. I need Rotom to do that in the end game. Also, if I click Eruption or Heat Wave, I give them a Flash Fire boost. So let's go for Hidden Power Grass into Mamoswine. Maybe that's a little bit of insight on what it's for on this team. But Heatran stays asleep. Drops to the combination of Earth Power and Rock Slide, but that does give me Rotom in with 3 more turns of Trick Room. I'm not too worried about the burn to Mamoswine here. I think I don't have Helping Hand on this Cresselia, so I guess I'll just Psyshock and Hydro Pump. I don't have Light Screen anymore. But Hydro Pump connects and knocks out Heatran. Mamoswine's not doing too much with that Rock Slide. There's no flinch chance as long as the Trick Room is still up. Here's the Tornadus. It can protect around a Thunderbolt. I'm going to Ice Beam Tornadus and Hydro Pump into Mamoswine. Yep, Tornadus does protect. The Ice Beam was to cover for that, but it is as I expected. I do miss the Hydro Pump. I guess that makes up for actually having the nerve to land a Will-O-Wisp earlier. But now I'll double into Tornadus. It doesn't go for the double protect, so we should knock it out here, and there's just the burned Mamoswine left. And it just goes to show what a difference landing your Will-O-Wisp can make to this team, huh? I keep talking about how much pressure the Mamoswine puts out, but not so much of it's burned. We'll get a couple more, assuming the ladder isn't dead. But it doesn't seem like it's dead. It's taking some time to find opponents occasionally, but there hasn't been a wait as long as that earlier one from a few hours ago. So far. Hopefully this is not it. This is probably going to go up late in the month. Did everyone have fun playing VGC 2013? I'm really enjoying it. I might play it some more while it's still with us. It definitely feels like I have to fall back on my fundamentals a little more without stuff like Dynamax or Terastal to patch up some situations. And yeah, that Wolfe Glick team is still my favorite so far, although they're all the ones I've tried are good. And there's definitely a lot of fun to be had with all these teams. It's taking a while to find an opponent right now, huh? I guess that's what happens with a 12-year-old format. There are only going to be so many people playing at any given time. And that's just how it goes. But we got someone here. Backpacker Radin? Sorry, I don't know. If that's your actual name, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with it. Okay, we got an Incarnate Landorus. I think that's a new one for this video. We got a Volcarona, Gen 5 Menace, still putting in work to this day in Gen 9. How do I beat Volcarona with this team? Just try to Eruption it early? Maybe. Ludicolo, does it get Fake Out in this gen? I think it probably does. So that's an issue. I could lead Landorus, threaten the Rock Slide into stuff, getting Intimidated into this. Do I lead Landorus Heatran? If so, do I know what I do if I see Ludicolo? I'm going to lead Landorus, Heatran, Rotom in the back, and maybe Cresselia. I'm a little bit wary of the Tyranitar. I have some pieces for the Tyranitar, but maybe I need Conkeldurr. They're both... Conkeldurr and Cresselia both have Ice attacks to help me cover the Landorus. I'm gonna run Cresselia and hope that my other 3 Pokemon can handle Tyranitar. Okay, we do see Ludicolo in the lead, along with Amoonguss. They've named their Pokemon after the stages of grief, which I hope is not what their team is going to induce in me. There's Protect. Oh, is it Manual Rain? Is the Ludicolo going to take advantage of my passive lead to set Rain Dance? I'm going to U-turn Ludicolo and click Eruption. Okay, they Fake Out Heatran. Yeah, I'm letting Amoonguss get a Spore into something, but I started to try to think through what they would do with the free turn that the Fake Out pressure gives to them, given that these are not very obviously threatening Pokemon right off the bat. And yeah, I started to get in my head that they might bluff the Fake Out and click Rain Dance instead. So I was trying to cover for that, but now Amoonguss will be able to put something to sleep. I'm okay with it being Cresselia. It is Cresselia. Okay, I thought it was going to be Heatran. That's kind of a relief. Cresselia eats the Chesto Berry. Honestly, I didn't even remember that. Cresselia was just the Pokemon that I was most okay with sacking to sleep, but we'll definitely take this. And we'll go right for a Psyshock into the Ludicolo. We'll go right for a Psyshock into the Amoonguss slot. And an Eruption. Amoonguss protects. A bit of a waste of my Fire Gem as the Ludicolo is faster than Heatran. Also weakens the Eruption. Doesn't even KO Ludicolo. Okay, didn't play that great. What can you do? Psyshock into this slot, try to get rid of the Ludicolo, protect Heatran. Ludicolo stays on the field, goes for Scald, will not get out here. It's taken me a lot of investment to do that. Now Cresselia is asleep for real. Now we see the Landorus, so I can't very safely go for Eruption here. I'll go for an Ice Beam into Landorus. That'll be nice when Cresselia wakes up, hopefully, if it's still on the field. But they're not threatening much into it so far, probably, I think. And I can go Rotom here, thanks to Levitate. Yeah, avoid that Earth Power. Be an immediate offensive threat to Landorus, except that Rotom falls asleep. But, hey, as long as there's not too much danger on the field, my Pokemon have to wake up eventually, right? But this is probably where the danger switches in. Is the danger going to switch in here? No, Landorus just goes for Psychic into Rotom, and actually that does a lot of damage. But after the berry, it's only a 3-hit KO, and I just need one of these Pokemon to Giga Drain Amoonguss. Yeah, Rotom will drop to a Psychic now. If Cresselia can just wake up and Ice Beam this Landorus, that would be very nice for sure. I could switch Heatran on the Psychic and Giga Drain. Buy a turn. Although, what am I preserving Rotom for? They switched Landorus out at just the right time. Okay, well this is, in a way this is good because... It's not good. Their Metagross is probably going to be faster than Heatran. I'm just going to try to get rid of this Amoonguss if they let me. They Zen Headbutt into Heatran, which doesn't KO. So that would be... Well, it is a big Heat Wave. It knocks out the Landorus. It knocks out the Metagross, excuse me. It's been a long day. But... Unfortunately, Heat Wave misses Amoonguss. I would have had Amoonguss there. Instead, it gets another Spore. And we're back to playing this game. Trying to get Cresselia to wake up and just Ice Beam this Landorus. I'm preserving Heatran because it can knock out Amoonguss in the endgame. Although Cresselia can do that too. But yeah, I figured it was okay to sack Rotom there, especially since Rotom was still asleep. Still trying to get this Ice Beam into this Landorus. I'll protect. I'll just play this slowly with my Landorus. I could go Rock Slide next turn. Rage Powder on the Amoonguss, so I can't so easily Ice Beam their Landorus. I'm still going to try, though, because we can go for this Rock Slide here. That'll chip both. And now if this Ice Beam connects it, I think it knocks out Amoonguss. Indeed it does, and Cresselia can win it from here, and they forfeit. And I believe that is only 2 turns with the Aaron Cybertron Zheng team, so I'll get one more. 2 games. I am losing the ability to narrate here. I hope you... I hope what I'm going through for this video is still turning into an entertaining product. Okay. Scizor, Latios, Landorus, Therian form, Rotom, Wash form, Thundurus, Incarnate form, and Tyranitar. Let's get a little bit loopy here. My Tyranitar is strong into a couple of these Pokemon, but also very weak into a couple of them, but that's how it goes in this format, huh? Cresselia is pretty good here, except the Scizor and Tyranitar are threats. Well, yeah, that is how it goes. They have threats into everything I can bring. I just have to find the right combination. So let's suppose I'm leading Cresselia. I could lead Cresselia Landorus, and that gives me pretty good coverage into a lot of what they have. And then if I bring, like, Heatran and Tyranitar, maybe? That might work. Might have Galaxy Brain this a little much, although Cresselia has pretty good offensive coverage into these 2 Pokemon thanks to the Ice Beam. The Landorus might want to just U-turn into Cresselia. They have a faster team generally, I think, so maybe I want to go straight for Trick Room. Although the Thundurus could be carrying Taunt. So maybe it's safer to Ice Beam Thundurus here. And... Rock Slide? Yeah, there's the Taunt. Okay, I'm glad I didn't click Trick Room. They do U-turn out with their Landorus. I guess I could have U-turned with my Landorus. I did consider that for a second, but hey, the Rock Slide will chip stuff. Chips the Thundurus pretty nicely. Ice Beam knocks out Thundurus with a crit. Getting rid of Thundurus feels very good here. I think I want to switch Cresselia out. I could probably go into Heatran. The problem with that is, I think it's better to go Tyranitar because I think I'm going to U-turn Landorus out here, and I probably want to bring Heatran into that slot in case the Rotom goes for Will-O-Wisp. Although the Rotom could just throw off a Hydro Pump. But we're going to try this. Tyranitar comes in on a crunch, so that's a good start. Nice super effective U-turn into their Tyranitar. Rotom goes for Hydro Pump. Okay, I guessed wrong. But Tyranitar has gotten in fairly healthy here. I have low kick. I'm not confident that they have low kick. I suppose they might. I can just go for Rock Slide. Heatran is not especially fast. I'm going to low kick their Tyranitar because I want to create an opening for Cresselia to try to win this. I think that's correct here. Heatran avoids a crunch. They Will-O-Wisp Tyranitar. but we do still land the low kick and it KOs. And again, the goal behind that is to win with Cresselia, which should be a lot more doable now that Tyranitar is out of the way. I'll just go for Rock Slide with this burn Tyranitar. I don't think I need to preserve these two Pokemon. I think I can sack them. Get Landorus in, get the Intimidate, threaten damage with it, but again, really try to win the game with Cresselia. So let's just click a couple of attacks here. Maybe I should have gone for Hidden Power into their Rotom, but it doesn't matter. I lose both my Pokemon. But it's all in the name of getting these two in for free. As I can, I think, just go straight for an Ice Beam into their Landorus, and I'll protect my Landorus this turn, hope to get it to a 2v1. That doesn't quite happen, as both Landorus protect, but I think that Will-O-Wisp is going to be too slow here. Maybe they'd probably be better off going for Hydro Pump now, trying to at least KO Landorus, and hope that Rotom can 1v1 Cresselia somehow, but just go Ice Beam and Rock Slide. Good damage. Their Landorus is gone, their Rotom flinched, but I don't think their Rotom was winning at this point anyway. And I'll just U-turn and Psyshock. U-turn gets the KO. So that's more like it, huh? I didn't win a single game with the World Championship team. And again, I know it's a good team. I'm not questioning that for 1 second, but I didn't get a single win with that team. But these other three teams that I'm trying have been popping off. But now it's time for something that I don't think will pop off. In fact, I'm not even sure it will work on Showdown, because the timer is different. But if you were paying attention early in the video, which feels like forever ago now, I said that I had gotten 5 teams to try out, but I actually only showed 4 in the builder. That's because the last one is a special surprise. And that special surprise is called Dive Cats. Wolfe Glick has a video on this from like 2 years ago, but the gist is it's a team with Purloin and Liepard with Prankster Assist and items that cause them to move last in their priority bracket. Everything else on the team has no moves at all that can be called by Assist except Dive, so they'll always call Dive with Assist. And then Prankster boosts Assist, gives it +1 priority, so they go underwater with priority, and then they'll move last on the next turn. So there's, most of the time, there's no opening for the opponent to hit them, is the gist. The team is meant to play to timer in VGC, so I don't know that that will even work on Showdown. In either way, it's a cheese strategy that is definitely built to be annoying and maybe not the most ethically sound to use, so I'm just going to get 1 game with this, but we're looking back into VGC history here. We might as well look at Dive Cats, right? So Purloin, Liepard, I have to bring one of these two. I guess I'll just bring both. Why not? And yeah, only 1 game with this. Probably not the best idea to use it at all, but we're having fun here. It's a rare time that we can. Assist is not in the current current generation. It was removed from the games some time ago, and even before it was removed from the games, they nerfed it in Gen 6 so that it could no longer call 2-turn semi-invulnerable moves like Dive, Fly, and Dig, presumably because of Dive Cats. So we're getting in touch with history just a little bit, and then we'll move on from this nonsense. Liepard goes underwater, Purloin goes underwater. And then they come back up after these two move. Yeah. And that's it. And you can see they don't hit very hard. That's why... Well, there's a crit there. An assist only has 32 power points. That's why the point of this team is to play to timer on cartridge. The Tyranitar will take more from Dive if they let it. Although with the Rage Powder, I guess they won't. Also, the Sand will chip these two Pokemon down before they get KOs, right? So I definitely lose this game. I mean, I can't see a way that I win it. This looks pretty free for my opponent. But, I mean, if I'm using a cheese strategy like this, maybe that's not the worst thing. That at least the opponent gets a win out of it in the end. At least I think they will. Actually, the dive is doing not that terrible damage. And they're sand chipping their own Pokemon now. But the Amoonguss is... okay, but they're doing Protect and Regenerator stuff, adding that sand damage up on my Pokemon. I mean, they definitely deserve to win this. I certainly don't. But we're just being a little bit silly here, right? Oh, they're also... They can because Dive is 2-turn attack, they can always Protect on it. Yeah, so like Wolfe Glick explained in his Dive Cats video, the point of the strategy was... And we can see that Tyranitar kind of invalidates it. There are other things that do as well. But the point is, get a little bit of damage, and then just your Pokemon never take a hit for the rest of the game, and you win on timer. Opponent says, how do you counter this in the chat? I mean, I think they have the right idea with this Tyranitar, Protect, Regenerator, Amoonguss stuff. So I don't know if I should answer them in chat, but like, I think they're doing what they're supposed to be doing in this situation that I've put them in. Rage Powder. I think you want to keep the Amoonguss healthy. Like, you probably should be thinking about switching it out at this point. But I don't know that I ever beat the Tyranitar. Actually, I mean, I still have 27 power points on assist. But it's not the PP that's the problem at this point. It's the sand damage. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's nothing for me to think about in this game. I just click the buttons over and over. We're gonna KO Amoonguss here? Yes, with the sand chip we are. Okay, so Regenerator's off the board, and they forfeited. Oh no. Was I going to win this? When Amoonguss went down, maybe so. But could they not just Protect forever on the dive turns? Maybe some of these Pokemon didn't have Protect. The only one that showed it was Tornadus. Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, that was Dive Cats. And even though I won, I definitely won't be using it anymore. And that was Generation 5 VGC 2013. I actually had a lot of fun playing this. I might play it some more. I might or might not record it some more. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Like I said, I think my favorite team out of all the ones I tried here was one that you don't see right now. Wolfe Glick's 2012 runner-up team with the Exeggutor, Skill Swap, Cresselia, and Heatran. No wonder that team got him actually added to Black and White 2 as a downloadable NPC in the Pokemon World Tournament. If you didn't know that Wolfe Glick was an NPC in Black and White 2, there you go. But this team was great. This team was great. And I didn't get any good results with the 2013 World Championship team, but I know it was a good one as well. And that was a little blast from the past. New to me, because I never played that format before. Maybe new to you as well. Like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll get some more opportunities to get cool stuff like that, huh? But in the meantime, we keep going with Regulation G, we keep going with the Prismatic Draft League, and who knows what else is on the horizon.